Hi everybody, this is Victor here from Trend Following Trading for Beginners. And in today's episode, I want to talk about the biggest market manipulator in 2019 and fake news. Okay, before I start today, I want to show a disclaimer here. Whatever I'm going to say in this episode is all just my view, my thoughts, and nothing to do with anybody else. And I'm not trying to step on other people's toes. It's just looking at from the outside, into this whole thing about the manipulation of the market. I just wonder, what I'm saying is. It's just my opinion only, so it's not going to hopefully affect anybody else. So nobody from FBI or whatever knock on my door, okay? So basically, the biggest manipulator in 2019, from my point of view, I think is the President of the United States, Mr. Donald Trump. The problem here I have with Donald Trump is, he's not my president. I'm based in UK, but from what I've seen, his tweets and reports on BBC and other Hong Kong news, I read about kind of things. So looking from the outside world, outside US, and then looking at what he actually tweeting and how the market moves up and down, it does give me a feeling that he, for some reason, or one way or another, when you look at the share market, the stock market in US, when the market is down, he would tweet some positive news about, positive trade talks between U.S. and China, or with its neighbor, Mexico, Canada, or Europe, or something. And then when the market is going high, somehow he just go tweet something, just say, the Chinese really want to sign a trade deal, but we are not in a hurry, blah, blah, blah. And then the market go down. And it didn't just happen once or twice. It's quite repeatedly on during the past 12 months or so between the U.S. and trade between U.S. and China, and also similar things, tweets about Europe, Canada, and Mexico, and as well as to the Feds, keep on telling the Feds they're not doing the job right, not lower their interest rate like Europe does, a negative interest rate and so forth. It's like, remember, this person is not just any celebrities anymore. Donald Trump, before he became the president of the United States, is basically he's the leader of the free world, isn't it? So whatever he's going to tweet has quite a bit of implication for people around the world, let alone the stock market. And he keep on just bashing on about the China deals, deal with Mexico, deal with Canada, deal with Europe, and all sorts of things. And then his words going to be, have effect on the stock market and currency market around the world, and also of the Fed as well. But nobody seems to be doing this simple thing. Is Mr. Donald Trump, the President of the United States, violated any SEC rules in America? Basically trying to move the market by doing his tweets and tweeting about whatever is coming and things. He must know. He's the best, the first person who basically come out from any government, head of government, to really put what his feelings in a tweet, in social media, coming really using social media really well. But he seems to do a lot of things without consequences. Elon Musk during 2019 tweets about possibility of bringing Tesla back into private hands, and said that we talked to certain banks and have money put aside, get ready, and even talk about how much we need to pay to get these Tesla shares back, and then bring the whole company private. SEC jumped on that in America, and then basically make him not to talk about it, but he did, and then he got fined again, and now he's not chairman, I think, not Tesla anymore. If SEC can do that to a U.S. citizen who was quite high profile, choosing the wrong thing in America, why nobody checking up on Mr. Donald Trump, the United States President of the United States. Secondly, it just make you wonder as well, all this ups and down manipulation that, directly or indirectly caused by his tweets, somebody probably is profiting from it. Now, I maybe watching too much Wall Street, especially Wall Street 2, talk about the locust fund. Does anybody out there not, have any hint of thinking that Donald Trump or his minions or somebody, within his circle, using whatever he's tweeting to fatten themselves? There might be something out there. Who knows? But just like the consistency, keep on doing it. When the market is going up, I'm talking about U.S. market, all right? Let's say Dow Jones and NASDAQ and S&P 500 things. He just go tweet something and then the market come down again. Most recently, just now, I think yesterday or something, isn't it? The tweet yesterday, I'm talking about 2nd of December 2019. He tweets about the currency coming down in Brazil and Argentina, and say that's not fair against the U.S. company, agriculture, whatever. And now we put tariff on steel on America, aluminium as well, America as well with Argentina. And it's like, what are they doing? To actually treat something when the market now, is high. In U.S. market, Dow Jones, I think it's about 28,000 around there and there. And then yesterday, the market come down like 200, almost 200 points. Just a little tweets like that. Okay, China may, have something to do with it because they come out and say, okay, the freedom right bills from America, who Mr. Donald Trump have signed last week against, the China against China for, basically said the human rights not good record things, and then stand beside the democracy demonstrations and violence in Hong Kong, signing bills into law kind of thing. China now is retaliating, saying okay, the NGOs. It's quite funny in those ones that all Chinese are actually saying the NGO. I think the five NGOs that's been listed by the Chinese government, they all related one way or another, directly, indirectly, by U.S. funding, by U.S. Congress. Okay, especially the Freedom House, whatever it is. And it is quite funny, we have, I probably move a bit away from what I'm trying to talk about, but just very quickly, the U.S. government going around the world manipulating other countries' affairs, and Latin America, now in China, okay? And they talk about, during Donald Trump's election period, Russians is doing something. And we have some people here, talking about manipulation of their own government, okay, by another force. But then it's going around the world telling how people what to do, kind of things. It's quite funny, in a way, But then you look at it, all these little tweets. What does that do? It makes the whole market go up and down. And around the world, because you're talking about here a person, a head of state, tweeting about his view, or when he talk and speak, it affects the world global market. All this tariffs against the world. You've seen basically the commodity markets moving up and down, currency market up and down, and the stock market up and down, that kind of things. It's just like, why nobody really look into what he's choosing and telling, wait a minute, you're head of state. Don't treat those kind of things. And also, if America is so free, especially financial freedom and stuff, why nobody dare to start and say, look, Mr. President, you might be my president, but you shouldn't choose all this stuff. You're moving the market. I'm sure somebody in the financial regulator is looking into it, which is like not say anything. And on that, have you ever really seen a president anywhere in the world quite openly vocal about how, their own Federal Reserve, the Treasury, how they set the interest rate and tell them, they have to move the interest rate down to help, the economy and things like that. This kind of thing should be done in closed door, right? But it's very vocal, openly, and just like telling the world what he's think, and then Jerome Powell is having a tough time trying to, keep his head down, doing his job. his job is supposed to, set the correct interest rate for the economy in US, and because a lot of things is in US dollars, dominated in US dollars, affect other worlds as well. Crude oil, commodities, and corns, and kind of thing. But then this is what is really causing loads of trouble in trend in trading. Basically, it causes a very different trend, a lot of ups and down, major ups and down, and then it's quite difficult as far as trend following concerned. This year has been, it's not that easy. It's a lot of channel trend that go sudden reverse because somebody trades something, and then it's not quite easy. However, there along all this chaos, all this twist, all these messages from US, there are some good things that came out early on in the year, that kind of things like crude oil, although it might be sideways now, but at least it was doing pretty well early in the year. So it's British pounds against US dollar, those kind of things, and lately, last 3 months or so, US stock index, just look at Apple, for example, up and up and up. Everybody thought there's something, and it's got a job. Something's got a job because it's China and US having a trade spat, basically spit on each other. And Apple do a lot of its development and packaging, everything else, products line in China. Okay, might bring some of those back to US now, but majority of things still out there. But you have thought it will affect the Apple Apple share price, but it didn't. And you see that the kind of things in the share market. And now we have it's December now. People generally talk about Santa rally and stuff, but this year, the last three months or so, U.S. stock market has been more or less going up, and around the world except Hong Kong, I suppose. Nikkei is up. DAX in Germany is up. FTSE is sort of on a side trade, not up much. US, the three major indices going up, except Russell 2000 is not doing too well. It's just more on the sideways, but it's coming up slowly. And Nikkei's gone up, that kind of things. So around the world, everybody see all the major indexes around the world is going up. So are we going to have a rally this year? If there is, I don't know how that might going to be. You're talking about another couple thousand pound for maybe Dow Jones. I don't know. But one thing I'm sure is every time when Donald go to twist something, the market's going to move. Previously it's like when USDs, the rest of the world have the code. Now it's when US twits, the rest of the world is going to have a panic, because you never know what Mr. Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, is going to twit. That type of thing is just quite incredible. And it's from a trader point of view, it makes you very difficult to grasp what's going on. So on this issue, okay, with all this stuff going on, all you can rely on basically is your system. And if you don't have a system, and you basically just try to take a punt, not really doing it like amateurish trading way, not taking it as as a proper like a running business, you have no way to turn, because you bet one way, and then suddenly somehow Donald says something else, and the whole market moves against you. And it's difficult to basically try to make money out of the market. But if you have a trading system, doesn't matter if the market move up and down because whatever foreign local news is, causing the market go up and down wise, you just follow the market, because sooner or later there will be some sort of trend coming out. The problem with trend is you don't know when it's coming out, anytime, anywhere, or in which market, and all you have is your system. So all these tweets about things, from Donald. Mr. Donald Trump is only serve one thing, highlight more to me. That is, I really have to rely on my own system. Forget about what everybody else says. However much the market moves, I just follow end of day price, plug into my system, and my system goes say buy, I buy. It will say sell, I sell. It will say stand aside. And basically that's it. Just follow my system. Otherwise, I'm more easier take on and being logical thinking because I have an engineering background, also software development and stuff. But I just thought, for me, science is my background, it's my stepping stone, it's my ground, it's my rock, so to speak. And I always go back to my science, basically my transforming system. So based on mathematics, doesn't matter if it's done in North Antarctica or going to Australia or go to Brazil or Mexico, it will still run the same way. So that is one thing I want to highlight to traders. Just keep on remember your system. So long as you have back test your system and you trust your system, basically that's your rock, and you have continue and trust it. And on top of all this going on, you also have fake news. Fake news, we all know about it, one way or another. But I think it's quite rampant, especially if you are from Southeast Asia and you listen to what they're reporting, what Americans are saying, or the Chinese saying, and then you check it out and then think, what the hell is Reuters and Bloomberg is actually talking about? Sometimes it's like, there are news in Hong Kong, in Asia as well, saying Bloomberg issuing some sort of news and on the websites or something, and then it later turn out that they haven't even vetted. They just received some information from a special source, and then they haven't really verified it, and then say certain things happen, and then when people dig around and find out it was based on that there was some funny information. There was one in Hong Kong as well. They're saying this company is going to put the sale up on the stock market from private hands into the public, and then because they received some information, apparently turned out to be a fax, that this company that they talking about money about is supposed going public, but that was a form that was filled 2 years back. Okay, and at the end of the day, obviously the company basically denies it. You only hear about this kind of thing in Asia, if you're in that part of the world, and also you try to find out, try to find a news broadcaster who is balanced, who's not one-sided. It's rather difficult these days. The only thing quite balanced, maybe for me anyway, is RT America. I talk about both sides, rights or wrongs, and the left and right side kind of thing. Give a bit of a balance. Nowadays everything is very polarized. I don't know why everybody just talk about one way, and then sometimes the news are not really verified and causing issues. And to me, the most drastic one that always stick into my mind is this one, because I check the Hong Kong news and stock market and stuff. That's why I follow the Hong Kong index. Bloomberg apparently got a source talking about the betting industry in Macau and things like that, and say the Chinese rules, stopping people coming down to bet in Macau and stepping on corruptions and things like that. And then suddenly they come out with news in Bloomberg saying that there's some information that they have that the government's going to relax some sort of rules, to let people come in and do more trading or betting or bring money back outside China to basically go to Macau and to try to basically to go there and just do betting and stuff like that. And it turns out on that one, and people dig, they come out with quite a number of news as well. When people dig around of it, it was come out from actually from a news website from Macau. And that information will come out from somebody who actually working in there, a very low-level person, thinking about, possibly the Chinese government might do this, but then Bloomberg never check properly over there, and then the share price and all the Macau's betting companies who provide the services, gone up a bit, and then those are kind of news that are actually coming out. So this is why I put a disclaimer at the start, because these couple of things I heard and things like that, and it's like in Asia there's a lot more going on, and also in Europe. Remember, I'm not sure what's your age, but if you have gone through the last drawdown, the big downtime, 2007, 2008, and also maybe the dot-com bubble or something. I remember I read somewhere in America as well, actually put out a note to actually say someone from the trading houses to say, during the downtime, during the bear market, hardly any of the big financial houses say which stock's supposed to sell. They just say hold for a long time, hold. And very little of them actually say sell. And that's during the stock market crash. They didn't tell you to get out of the market. They tell you to get, just hold on to your share. And those people who have hold lost a lot of money. Okay, this is their own research, their whatever they say kind of thing. But it's those kind of news go around the world, and people who don't really look in the market and just trust the news, and we just hold and seeing the prices keep on coming down. And for that, if you have a system and you look at the news, say it's positive or just say hold, and you look at your system and the share price keep on dropping down, your system will tell you get out or sell, and you basically should follow that. But a lot of people don't have a system to talk about. Second, it's believe the news, and then lose a bundle, and then who's to blame? All those people who say buy during downturn, hold the share during downturn, it's not heard of again. There's all this news. It's just causing you issues, causing you problems. So at the end of the day, is what I'm trying to say in this episode is find a system that fits your personality, that fits your mood, the way that you work, and something that you can follow on a regular basis. I mean, not once a month or once a week, every single day. My system, I basically use end of day data. Every night I look at my chart software, I get the data out into a spreadsheet, and then I just run against my software to come up with some signals. And I just follow that. So that's my way of doing things. Also, I also facially look at the charts, and also that's one of the way I also invest as well. Just look at the charts. But it's all based on particular calculations. You have to be certain criteria, and then basically that's what I follow. And that's the only thing I do. Okay, so I don't care if the market go up or down. I just look at the end of the day price. What did my system say? And then follow my system. Basically, just make money that way. I'm not saying I always make money. I mean, I catch big trend. That's the main thing about trend following system. That you catch big trend. The main problem here is you do not know when the trend is gonna happen. You don't know if it's gonna be in crude oil, or it's going in Apple or Amazon, or on beans, I don't know, on pork bellies, coffee beans, that kind of things. So, I mean, to be honest, if you haven't been in doing trading in interest rates, well, you miss, the government bonds I'm talking about. You miss quite a bit of rally for the last couple of years. The 2 years Treasury, 5 years, 10 years Treasury, the interest will all come down because people keep on buying it. Worry about the global economy, and obviously the rate they pay is up because more people are buying it, pay less and less, that kind of things, and that's why you have the interest rate. But if you're into those kind of market, you make a bundle, okay? But so that's only if you have, first of all, into that market, and also have a system to actually go with a transforming system and follow it. So these are the type of things I want to talk about for this episode, and I hope you find it this episode useful. And also, please subscribe to my podcast and tell your friends about it. And I hope you will continue to support my podcast, and I speak to you soon. Bye.